Hello artists, it is time to start work on our clay project. I hope you're excited. All right, here's some of the tools we're going to use. The ones on the right, those are called blending tools, and the one on the left, that's called a potter's needle. Now it has a very sharp point, and it is really important that you use this tool responsibly. It is for drawing lines or for cutting small pieces of clay, and that's how it needs to be used. When you put it away, please put the sharp end down so that nobody accidentally gets poked with it. When we're attaching our clay pieces together, we're going to use slip. That's a mixture of clay and water. And along with scoring the work, which I'll show you in a minute, it's what helps hold the pieces together. Now you guys are going to make your own template, but we're going to start with this basic template, this shape. And you can make your mask that shape if you want, or in this case, what I did was I just drew half of a mask and I folded the paper in half and I cut it out as a different shape. You're welcome to do that if you wish, but just folding it in half that way your mask is symmetrical. Again, you can use a shape of your own, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shape of the mask template that I showed you a minute ago. Now you're going to roll your clay and you roll it and flip it. Roll it and flip it. If you just keep rolling it, it's going to stick to your board and you don't want that. You need to roll it so that it's big enough that your mask template fits on there. Okay, that fits. So now I'm going to take my potter's needle and I'm going to very carefully cut along the edge of my template. Now I think this mask is supposed to be like a butterfly mask. I'm actually going to use it upside down. So it's a very versatile mask that way. When I'm cutting this away with my potter's needle, I am keeping the needle straight up and down so that I'm not going underneath the clay. I'm going to cut the eyes out there, flip it over. See how it works upside down just as well? Okay, now this is really cool, but let's add a little bit of texture to it. So we have different stamps and texture rollers that will add different patterns and designs. You'll see those designs on the back wall of the classroom, and you can choose to use any of those to add some extra texture to your work. We have these plastic molds and we're going to use these to make them face shaped. So take a piece of paper towel and lay it down over the mold and then gently sort of pat your mask onto the face so that it's the right shape. And then we have a little tool that we can use to cut holes in the side. A straw works just as well to do that. Actually, usually the straw seems to work better for me, but anyway. All right, and that's so that we could attach a wire or a string to them so you could hang the masks up later. My design calls for some leaves, so I'm going to add a little texture to the leaves, and I'm going to attach those in a minute. And to do that, I need some slip. Okay, the slip's a little bit slimy. But I'm going to take my potter's needle and I'm going to draw some lines in my mask and the leaves. That's called scoring. Then I add the slip. It's really important when you're attaching pieces of clay that you do remember to score, to slip, and then blend those pieces on really well. Because if you don't, as the clay dries, those pieces are likely to separate and they'll fall off. All right, so I've got a couple of leaves now on my mask. I think what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to make a little rose. So I'm going to make a bunch of balls and then I squish them down into petals and I just start wrapping them around each other. You don't have to make a rose for yours. I just wanted to make one for mine. So there it goes. Before I put it on, I'm just going to flatten the bottom a little bit. And again, of course, score, slip, and then blend. Okay. Now you can add all kinds of little details to yours. I'm going to add a beak now. Again, I'm using the texture roller just to add a little texture to my clay and attaching it. And I, of course, will remember to score, to slip, and then I'll blend it on there with the blending tool. Okay, so when mine was all finished, this is what it looked like. Later we will glaze them. They'll look spectacular. Here's another one that I made. I used a template that I made myself. Here's the one I made with the template you saw me cutting out. The fish are using the texture rollers, and here's another one that I did as well. I can't wait to see what beautiful masks you're going to create. All right, let's get started designing your work.